understood. I am leaning toward the good. I'm leaning toward the good. I lay down my armor and I set down my shield. The only way across is unguarded and revealed. Each step takes me further than I ever thought I could. I'm leaning toward the good. I'm leaning toward the good. I'm too young to be old, and too old not to know that I'm here for the adventure, to live fully and be bold, to find wisdom in the silence, be the silence in the fire, finding beauty in the chaos as I move across the highway. Every moment, what is lost, what is gained? Will I live my life asleep or awake? I'm too young to be old, and too old not to know that I'm here for the adventure, to live fully and be bold, to find wisdom in the silence, be the silence in the fire, finding beauty in the chaos as I move across the highway. Leaning, I am leaning, I am leaning toward the good. Oh, I am leaning, I am leaning toward the
I've had my share of heartache and sorrow, moments of sadness and lonely despair. I've been down on my knees, begging life please to take this burden I bear. I embrace this pain that I feel, for I know it's birthing me into a greater way of being. I'm ready to receive all the gifts the storm they bring. There's a deeper sense within of God unfolding. Yes, these clouds are lifting me. Lord knows I've tried to run from these battles, but each time I circle to where where I began. Seem to move on till the learning is done. So teach me perfection. There I embrace this pain that I feel, for I know it's birthing me into a greater way of being. I'm ready to receive all the gifts the storm may bring. Oh, there's a deeper sense within of God unfolding. My light is growing. Yes, these clouds are lifting. They're lifting me. Raise me up to the next glorious mountain. I will love each valley and peak. There will be a new me for certain. Every step, every turn, my God's waiting there. Will bring this it down. As I embrace this pain that I feel, for I know it's birthing me into a greater way of being. I'm ready to receive all the gifts the storm may bring. Oh Lord, there's a deeper sense within of God unfolding. My light is growing. There's peace in the way. And these clouds are lifted. I know these clouds are lifted me. I'm so grateful. I'm grateful for gifts the storm may bring. These clouds are lifted. I know these clouds are lifted me. Lifted me higher. I'm grateful for gifts and I can love the rain. I know these clouds. Let go of the pain and say yes. Say yes. Say yes to these gifts the storm may bring. You see, it's lifting me higher, making me stronger, moving me forward on to a greater me. Hear the wind of change. 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 You can feel the wind of change. The healing wind of change. See, we can see the wind of change. We can be the wind of change.
You're my life, you're my breath, you're a smile, you're my guest. You're the earth, you're the sun, you're the grass, you are love. You're my hands, you're a bug, you're my eyes, you're a hug. You're the light in the dark, you're the spark, you are fun. You're my mom, you are water, you're the stars, you're my daughter. You're my friend till the end, you're my dreams, you're my father. You're the ants on the ground, the miracles that surround. I'm feeling it all around, the hemisphere in the clouds. You're my pain, you're my sorrow, you're my hope for tomorrow. You're the strength when I'm hollow, you're the path that I follow. You're the blessings that exist, the small things that are bliss. The gift to realize that everything
all
is a
that
gift.
I am, all that I see, all that I've been, and all that I'll ever be is a blessing. It's so amazing, and I'm grateful for it all, for it all. Grateful for it all.
You're the blessings every time I try to count. You're the lessons that I learn every time I turn around. You're the water when I'm burned every time I think I found everything I'm looking for. You're the sign saying stop to take a bow and keep moving forward and start looking towards your heart. It'll open all the doors and only then you'll start to hear the world singing chorus with your mind and heart. Aligned in purpose, everything
All
will feel
that I
gorgeous.
am, all that I see, all that I've been, and all that I'll ever be is a blessing. It's so amazing, and I'm grateful for it all, for it all.
Every day I sit and pray cause what I have is more than I deserve or could ever imagine. How do I give back to all of this magic and spread the love so everybody can have it? Doesn't matter if I'm rich or poor, if I got a family or if I'm all alone. Bad things happen, I can just complain and moan. But there's a million things that I can be grateful for.
So I lift up my hands now, and I open my heart, and my gratitude goes out to everything near and far. All that I am,
Everything I am and everything I see, everything I hope and everything I dream, everything I feel and everything I be. I look deep down and feel all the blessings. Everything I am and everything I see, everything I hope and everything I dream, everything I feel and everything I be. I'm grateful for it all. It's amazing. Everything I am and everything I see, everything I hope and everything I dream, everything I feel and everything I be. I look deep down and feel all the blessings. Everything I am and everything I see, everything I hope and everything I dream, everything I feel and everything I be. I'm grateful for it all. It's amazing.
grateful for it all.
You're the blessings that exist, the small things that are bliss, the gift to realize that everything is a gift.
Wait, one more. This is for y'all.
All that I am,
All that I've been.
it's a blessing.
It's so amazing.
I am grateful
There was a time in my life, thought I had to do it all for myself. I didn't know the love of God was at hand. But now I can say you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day. You've got to let it go. Let it all go. And this is what you have to say. I really did not let it go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Say I release all and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart's open wide. 'Cause I'm only here for God. Oh, no more struggle, no. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God.
Woo! All right. If that doesn't get your Sunday going, I don't know what will. Wow, what a great video from Daniel Nahmat and Nemo Patel. Grateful, grateful. And I'm Reverend Karen Mitchell, and I am grateful to be here with all of y'all this morning, my High Desert Center for Spiritual Living family, and those of you who are joining us on this weekly love stream for the first time. Welcome. Welcome. We welcome you. We're so glad that you're here this morning to celebrate with us. That's what we're doing here. We're celebrating. We're remembering who we are. And I'm going to get us started with that by doing a little prayer treatment. So won't you join me? I'm going to put on a little bit of music here. And we're going to start with this wonderful feeling of gratitude that is overflowing and surrounding me. Bring yourselves with me right here now, right to this moment, this beautiful, grateful, joyful moment when we remember that there is one love, one power, one life. That life is spirit. That life is the divine, unlimited potential of this now moment. And we are here. We are in that. We are that life. I know that that is the truth for every being everywhere. I know it. I declare it. I claim it. This is our life. This is a gift. This is a blessing. Each of us is a blessing. I give great gratitude to the High Desert Center for Spiritual Living, which stands as a beacon of love, a beacon of light in the high desert and around the world. I give great gratitude for the technology that brings our message, our love, our beingness to the universe. I give great gratitude for Reverend Doug LeBeau, his leadership, his guidance, his vision, his integrity. So grateful for the practitioners who hold us in prayer when we so desperately forget sometimes who we are. They've got it. They've got our back. I'm so grateful for the board working together for the greatest vision of this center. I'm grateful to everyone who comes through those doors or turns on their computer and joins us, no matter when that is. We are here for God. That's what we're doing here. We are shining the love and the light of the One. So with just overflowing thanksgiving for being healthy, for being alive, for being fully present, for this community of souls filled with love and joy, I simply just rest in that. I let everything else go, and I am completely immersed in this love. That is the truth for everyone. I speak this truth, and I release this truth. I release this word to that magnificent law that always says yes, that makes it so. Together we affirm this by saying, and so it is. And so it is. We had an amazing Easter service in the parking lot, right? Wasn't that amazing? We had Dave and Mandy, we had the band, David and Chris. It was just an inspirational gathering as we prepare to open up. And I know we're moving forward, and Reverend Doug has laid out our plan for moving forward to safely and gradually open up and get back to being in our center, which I know all of us love, and which so many of you were weeding around yesterday and weeding around on yesterday. Yeah, I think it was yesterday, right, Lori? And taking care of her. I call her, but that's okay. Taking care of our center. And we had a big announcement from Reverend Doug. The big announcement being that Reverend Doug and his family are relocating to the greater Detroit, Michigan area. So, wow, that's big news, right? We're talking about the winds of change today, and that's pretty big news. That's a pretty big wind of change coming our way. And I know that everything is unfolding in perfect divine order and perfect divine timing, and we're allowed to feel sad, and we're allowed to feel trepidatious, if you will. You know, it's the future, it's unknown, but you know what? We know that everything always evolves for the good of all. So we give great joy and blessings to Reverend Doug and his family because his good is unfolding, and that means our good is unfolding. And I'm really, really excited to see the changes coming our way to the center. So we love to do our Ho'oponopono practice, which is really a prayer practice for our lives. We can do it every day. We can do it once a week. But I think any time like this, when there are a lot of changes coming, changes in the world, you know, Dr. Michael Beckwith used to say that reading the newspaper headlines was his prayer list. And I love to think of it that way because being in gratitude, which we are right now, being in gratitude doesn't mean turning our eyes away from conditions that are tragic and upsetting and difficult for us to understand. So this Ho'oponopono practice helps us really to wrap our mind around the idea that there's a simple way to simply love and bless and forgive and release. So the Ho'oponopono practice is, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. We can apply this to anything in our lives. You know, many times I just apply it to myself when I feel like I've fallen short in some way and not, I didn't get all that done, or I didn't treat that person with the kindness that I could have shown. Then I put myself in this picture and I say these words to myself. So let's practice this together. I'm going to put on a little music that goes with it, a little chant. Here we go. Ho'oponopono.
I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you. We are responsible for what we see. Healing ourselves will heal the world. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you. We are responsible for what we see. Healing ourselves will heal the world. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you.
As I like to say every time, that really centers me in. I just really get centered on that. I hope that works for you too. What we really love to take time to do on our Sunday LoveStream is to read The Promises by Dr. Ernest Holmes. It really keeps us centered on that remembering of who we are. So let's read the promises together. I keep the promise that I have made myself to affirm in this moment that I am abundant, healthy, strong, and happy. I keep the intention to daily speak this truth to my inner soul, telling it that it is wonderful and marvelous, that it is one with the great cause of life, truth, power, and action. I whisper these things into my soul until it breaks forth into songs of joy with the realization of its limitless possibilities. I assure my soul. And let's really reassure our souls by playing Reverend Doug's video, I Remember Who I Am.
One, two, three.
I remember who I am. I remember who you are and who we are. His pure spirit. I remember who I am. I remember who you are and who we are. His pure spirit. We are life, we are light, we are love. We are joy, we are peace, we are wisdom, and beautiful harmony. We are pure spirit. I remember who I am. I remember who you are and who we are. His pure spirit. I remember who I am. I remember who you are and who we are. His pure spirit. We are life, we are light, we are love. We are joy, we are peace, we are wisdom, and beautiful harmony. We are pure spirit. I remember who I am. I remember who you are and who we are. His pure spirit and who we are. His pure spirit and who we are. His pure spirit.
Thank you, Reverend Doug. I'm so grateful to you for writing that amazing song, which also centers me right back to remembering who we are, and that's pure spirit. And he got all these people together and put all that video together. I just love Reverend Doug. Thank you. You can do everything. God as Reverend Doug is amazing. And I wanted to let you know, in case you are joining us for the first time, you're not aware of Centers for Spiritual Living, which is what organization we are a part of. Centers for Spiritual Living is a worldwide organization committed to building a world that works for everyone. So we are open and we are affirming. And here at the High Desert Center for Spiritual Living, we want you to know that we are a radically inclusive and mindfully non-racist spiritual community. And that means that all are lovingly welcome here. I am told that there was also some painting going on yesterday. So thank you, everyone who's taking care of our beautiful center and making her look so pretty for our next gathering there. I wanted you to know that we had a Sister Circle meeting yesterday. This is our little Sister Circle symbol. I don't know, I can't tell you how grateful I am for these wise, compassionate, funny, intelligent, talented women that gather every 2 weeks on Zoom. And we just talk about everything: spirituality, being a woman, the history of women over time and centuries, what movies we like, what book we're reading, what problems we're having. It's just an amazing, safe sharing time. We keep what's said in the circle. And I'm just hoping that more of you will join us, more of you women will join us. We have another Zoom coming up in 2 weeks, so welcome women. Be part of our growing Sister Circle group. And it is growing. It's amazing. There's the Zoom information, and I'm going to be sending out that Zoom information to a few days before the next gathering. I want you to know that our office hours, Monday 9 to 1, Tuesday 9 to 4, Wednesday 9 to 12, and Thursday 10 to 3. And we're practicing, of course, social distancing and mask wearing. So be prepared to be a conscientious mask wearer when you come to the office. Our crochet project, by the way, I forgot to mention with the Sister Circle, is ongoing. And our new motto for the Sister Circle, I think, is never give up. At least that's become my motto with crocheting. It's quite an adventure. And if any of you want to join us, there's no deadline. Just jump in. We're making preemie baby blankets for little preemies in the NICU, so neonatal intensive care unit. Okay, so we have, and I'm so blessed to know that we have the amazing Clay Reynolds here, and I'm going to bring him on here in just a second because he just has this uplifted consciousness. You know, if I'm getting ready for service, here comes Clay. There he is. I'm getting ready for service, and I'm like, my lights are freaking out, and I'm trying to fix something, and Clay's just like, you're doing great. This is going to be a great service. And I'm like, and so it is. Thank you, Clay. I just love your energy. How are you today?
Great. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I am well, thank you. And I'm just grateful that you're here to be your amazing practitioner self and give us support with the affirmation and the flames of faith. So I'm going to let you have at it. Here we go.
Well, good morning, family. I'll start with the affirmation. I'll say it, and then let's repeat it together a couple of times. Our affirmation today is, I am consciously aware of the presence of spirit. Let's say that together. I am consciously aware of the presence of spirit. And let's say it again. I am consciously aware of the presence of spirit. And so it is. The flames of faith. We perform this ceremony on Sundays to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples and all faiths, all beings, come from the one great universal presence, which we call spirit. The unity candle represents the unifying nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here today. We light the first candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light the second candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the third candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the fourth candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the fifth candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the sixth candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the seventh candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of compliance with the will of God as the highest calling. We light the eighth candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the ninth candle, honoring all forms of new thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principle. We light the 10th candle for inclusivity, affirming that all are welcome here. And as we light the healing candle, please put silently into the light names of loved ones, knowing that they have the experience of Spirit's eternal love. So I invite you at this moment to simply close your eyes as we move within. I know that there is one power in life, omnipotent, omnipresent, omniscient, omnibenevolent. And this is the life of God, the spirit of the universe. And when I talk about omnipotence, I'm talking about God that's all powerful. When I say omnipresence, I'm talking about God being everywhere at all times. When I say omniscient, I'm talking about God all-knowing all the time. When I speak of omnibenevolence, I'm talking about God is all good all the time. All that exists is derived from the pure divine essence of spirit of this power. This essence, this energy creates life, sustains life, and transforms life. As spirit is all there is, it is one. And I know that I'm part of this oneness, therefore I am a powerful, creative, spiritual being. I have access to Spirit's infinite power, and it responds to my thoughts. As I speak my word for myself, I know it's true for everyone. By the power and authority of this one mind, I speak my word for all, absolutely declaring that we are love, creativity, joy, and the abundance of good, and the abundance of God. I recognize and celebrate the attributes of God that live in my physical form. I claim love, light, peace, joy, beauty, wisdom, and good as my natural birthright. I'm connected to the harmonic vibration of well-being. As I stand in faith, I release all negativity, all fear, all worry, all judgment and prejudices, and convert that energy into positive, life-affirming vibrations. I give thanks for this good, for I know it's so. I'm grateful for knowing that God is in all things, surrounds all things, and is all things. I give thanks to Reverend Doug, Reverend Karen, the practitioner team, the board, and the many people who comprise our center, my spiritual family that feeds my soul every day. With peace and gratitude, I release these words into universal law, knowing that as they are spoken, they are already complete in divine mind. And together we affirm this by saying, and so it is.
And so it is, Clay. Thank you so much for that omnibenevolent treatment. I love that. I'm going to be using that all week. That's a good one. Thank you. Thank you so much. And
my pleasure.
And we'll see you very soon.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Clay. So I wanted to introduce to you a song that I wrote, and it really is about gratitude. Today, guess what? We're going to talk a little bit about gratitude, because gratitude really is that kindness of the heart practice that opens ourselves up to the beauty of experiencing the divine as us. So I based this song on that statement. I think it was Meister Eckhart. Oh gosh, I'm going to fail that test. No, Reverend Doug, correct me if I'm wrong. Meister Eckhart, who said, if there was only one prayer ever spoken, thank you would be enough. So here's my song called Thank You. And you'll see David Blasucci, our lovely David Blasucci, performing with me on this one. So gratitude keeps us healthy, keeps us positive, keeps us remembering what's important. Only one prayer ever spoken. If there was only one prayer ever heard, only one heart ever broken, it would be enough to speak these words. Thank you. For
there's only one life that we're living, only one breath and one voice, only one reason for living, it would be enough to make this choice. Thank you, thank you, thank you for everything. Thank you, thank you for everything. There is power in a grateful heart, turning every fear into a work of art. Yeah. Thank you, thank you, thank you for everything. Thank you, thank you for everything. Thank you for everything. Thank you.
Thank you for everything. I think that's kind of the key that we're going to kind of focus on today with this winds of change idea. So that when we're in gratitude, we're not just saying thank you for all the stuff that I really love that I wanted and I got it now. I think we're really deciding, making a choice to be thankful for everything that comes. And the winds of change bring all kinds of unexpected stuff to our door. And so to have that mindset of thank you for everything, the good, the bad, and the ugly, that I think is what we're really talking about here with this open-hearted practice, this remembering who we are as the divine, everything. So March, our theme was really going deep into the idea of visioning, that practice by Dr. Beckwith of really asking questions of the universe. What does my life look like? What do I need to let go? What do I need to embrace? All those questions, so that we can really hone in on just listening. It's not about visualization, right? Remember, it's about listening to the answers that come from our own divine within. But April is stepping into the unknown. So this is our theme for April. Stepping in to the unknown. And really stepping in, right? Not just looking at the unknown, stepping into it. And this is the winds of change. So the winds of change, the work around that is learning to embrace change. We choose how we are going to live forward. Again, there's that choice. So we have the choice to decide, how do I want to embrace this change? Can I embrace this change? I love what Ernest Holmes has to say about this. This is a bold statement here. Ernest Holmes says, this is the greatest discovery of all time. Let's just stop there for a second. That's a big deal. That's a big deal. This is the greatest discovery of all time. And he goes on to say the road to freedom lies not through mysteries or occult performances, but through the intelligent use of nature's forces and laws. So we talk a lot about metaphysical law and physical law, spiritual laws and laws of the universe, gravity, electricity. We talk about metaphysical laws too. So I think it's important to remember when Ernest Holmes was around in the early 20s, there was a lot going on with sort of charlatanism around. There were a lot of people dealing with spiritualism, which was kind of like that sort of psychic occult experimentation. And, Anton Mesmer worked, of course, the hypnotist, and worked a lot with energy that he thought. He came closest of all those guys. He thought there was an energy in the body flowing around that he could kind of control. And Ernest Holmes really has clarified it for us. It's the power of the divine within, and we have free will. So he talks about freedom. We have free will to choose how we're going to proceed. So that's what the work is this week. Deciding how we want to move forward. How do we want our life to look? And how can we use a heart-opening practice and gratitude to help this move forward? So we move forward with curiosity. I know for myself, sometimes my first reaction to moving forward is fear. Can anyone relate to that? Fear. It's like, that's going to happen? Wait, what do I do now? Wait. And the hand goes up, but it's kind of, But when we're little kids, we embrace change with curiosity. We experiment. We experience what we want to experience through touching and sensing and feeling things. And so, obviously, this little guy wants to see what's on the other side of the fence. But we talk about curiosity, and we talk about moving forward in a fearless way. Doesn't mean we're not going to have any fear. But if we put the emphasis on that curiosity, God has our back. We move forward and we learn new things. Sometimes moving forward means looking at that deep, dark fear that's blocking up our receptivity. So we talk about spiritual blockages. If I want to be open to more good, but I'm really deep down feeling, I'm not worthy of that. I don't deserve that. I shouldn't have that. There's a disconnect there. So we talk about having also the dark night of our soul, where we're really trying to figure out how to move forward. And again, it ties into that visioning idea. What do we want to embrace? What do we need to let go of? So let's see what Michael Beckwith has to say about the dark night of the soul.
What about this dark night of the soul? You speak about, everybody's heard that phrase, the dark night of the soul. There are people who have that dark night and kind of abide in that space of they never really get past it. But the dark night of the soul is there for what?
The dark night of the soul is a couple of stages to it. The primary dark night of the soul is when you're losing your identification with your previous identity, but you don't yet have an identification with what's new emerging. You're in the dark.
That's good.
You don't know. You knew this is who you used to be.
Yeah.
But you're not that anymore. But who you're becoming, you're not that either. So it's dark. It's really, and sometimes it's excruciating. Sometimes it's a lot of fear, a lot of disconnect. And I tell people that when you're going through that, tell them to ask this question. If this experience were to last forever, what quality would have to emerge for me to have peace of mind?
Ooh.
So if you ask that question, and you say, if this particular experience was going to last forever, I would need some strength. I would need some peace. I would need a little bit more, name whatever quality. And what happens is, when your attention starts focusing on that quality, rather than resisting the dark night, then the process is speeded up. and your identification,
you move through it
you move
faster.
through it faster.
Yeah.
Yeah, so moving through it faster is always good, right? We can be in pain and discomfort, but we don't want to, build a house there. We want to move through it as best we can. So we touched on this yesterday in the Sister Circle too. We talked about our own dark nights of the soul, and we kind of make a self-made prison sometimes. We put ourselves in that who we used to be that Dr. Beckwith talked about, but we're not who we want to be yet. So we're just kind of disappointed and just sitting there in the dark night of our soul. So again, Dr. Beckwith talks about focus on that quality. So ask yourselves this question. Do this with me now. Ask yourself the question, if this blank, whatever it is, poverty, loneliness, health issue, if this were to last forever, what quality would I need to develop to get me through this? Or I would also say, what spiritual truth do I need to remember that's really the truth about me? So if I'm having health challenges, what would I want to remember that's the spiritual truth about myself, about my true self, that divine part of me that nothing can touch or harm or make sick? Maybe I would just need to remember who I am, like Doug's song. Remembering who we are can get us out of that. How can we embrace our discomfort? Sitting in discomfort is uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable. We'd rather distract ourselves, look off at something else. What's that over there? Look outside of ourselves. We'd rather do that than just sit in the discomfort and maybe ask ourselves some questions. How can I embrace this without judgment? How can everything really be good is what we really ask ourselves sometimes. So many times we settle for the devil we know rather than trying to get hold of the angel that we don't know yet. And I love Ernest Holmes' quote here because it gives me great strength and hope. We do this, we get out of this by doing what he says here, keeping the goal in mind, refusing to be baffled or defeated. With uplifted thought and calm but definite purpose, we cannot fail. We cannot fail. Calm but definite purpose. So we sometimes say we fake it till we make it. If we have to walk through something difficult, we just have to remember that, look, we cannot fail. We have this calm and definite purpose. We walk through this. We are stepping into the unknown. And just knowing that we cannot fail, that's a huge thing to remember for me. Many times we get caught in the blame game when we're asking ourselves these questions of, why am I here? How did I get here? Why did this happen to me? Why am I so XYZ, broke, sick, exhausted, lonely, tired? So we look for answers because having no answer is more uncomfortable. And I just love this Brene Brown video. Let's take a look really quick.
How many of you are blamers? How many of you, when something goes wrong, the first thing you want to know is whose fault it is? Hi, my name is Brene. I am a blamer. Let me just tell you this quick story. So this is a couple years ago when I first realized the magnitude to which I blame. I'm in my house. I have on white slacks and a pink sweater set, and I'm drinking a cup of coffee in my kitchen. It's a full cup of coffee. I drop it on the tile floor. It goes into a million pieces, splashes up all over me. And a millisecond after it hit the floor, right out of my mouth is this: damn you, Steve. Who is my husband. Because let me tell you how fast this works for me. So Steve plays water polo with a group of friends. And the night before, he went to go play water polo. And I said, hey, make sure you come back at 10, because I can never fall asleep until you're home. And he got back like at 10:30. And so I went to bed a little bit later than I thought. Ergo, my second cup of coffee that I probably would not be having had he come home when we discussed. Therefore, and so the rest of that story is I'm cleaning up the kitchen. Steve calls, caller ID. I'm like, hey. He's like, hey, what's going on, babe? What's going on? So I'll tell you exactly what's going on. I'm cleaning up the coffee that spilled all, like dial tone. Because he knows. How many of you go to that place when something bad happens, the first thing you want to know is whose fault is it? I'd rather it be my fault than no one's fault. Because why? Why? Because it gives us some semblance of control. But here, if you enjoy blaming, this is where you should stick your fingers in your ear and do the na thing, because I'm getting ready to ruin it for you. Because here's what we know from the research. Blame is simply the discharging of discomfort and pain. It has an inverse relationship with accountability. Accountability, by definition, is a vulnerable process. It means me calling you and saying, hey, my feelings were really hurt about this, and talking. It's not blaming. Blaming is simply a way that we discharge anger. People who blame a lot seldom have the tenacity and grit to actually hold people accountable, because we expend all of our energy raging for 15 seconds and figuring out whose fault something is. And blaming is very corrosive in relationships, and it's one of the reasons we miss our opportunities for empathy. Because when something happens and we're hearing a story, we're not really listening. We're in the place where I was, making the connections as quickly as we can about whose fault something was.
I think I'm a little outed there. I think I belong to the Blamers Anonymous group. I love to know whose fault it is. I have to say, I love it. And yes, I'd rather it be my fault than just, I don't know who did it. I'd rather know. I have my own kitchen fridge store. I was in my kitchen, which is in process of being fixed up after, 30 years of nothing sort of done to it. So I've got the new stove, but no cabinets. I've got the new fridge, but it doesn't fit, right? So COVID happened, and therefore everything halted. My husband isn't working. I wasn't working. So I go in the fridge. No one else is there. I go in the fridge and I go to get something out, and something just flies out because my fridge doors don't open all the way because it's next to a wall where it's not supposed to be. And I know all this will change. And listen, if this is the worst problem I have my whole life, I'm good. But in the moment, right, we go to that moment really quickly where it's like, who put the thing with the thing, made it fall out on my foot and smash on the ground, And then I just heard myself saying, I hate this. I hate this fridge, And I don't say the word hate. Like, I just don't do that. I taught my kids, we say dislike. We say detest. We don't say hate. It's very strong. So I knew something was up with Reverend Karen, right? So I'm like, oh. So then I reframed it, and I thought, I don't hate this fridge. What's going on? I don't like the process that it's in between, and it's not happening. It's not fixed. It's not finished, and I can't fix it, and I can't make it better. So I have to sort of sit in it. I'm sitting in the discomfort, right? And I think that's what Brené Brown is talking about a bit. When I'm discharging that, blah, whose fault is it? It's my own discomfort with what's happening. And when we talk about winds of change, we're talking about stuff coming up that can be pretty uncomfortable. And what I know is that whatever makes you uncomfortable is your biggest opportunity for growth. Because why? Because it pushes that button of what you really don't want to have to deal with. We need to remember that every discomfort, every change, every new thing that's coming our way is really an opportunity. And it's always right in front of us, right? We go back to this choosing again. We get to choose how we're going to move forward with these changes. So in Switzerland, there is, I don't know how many lakes there are, but there's this beautiful lake, and the sailors go out on the lake. But before they go out on the lake, they have the group of sailors lined up waiting with their sailboats, and they're looking. They're looking out at the water. And they're not looking for weather necessarily. They're looking for any disturbance in the water, because that means that's where the wind is. That's where they're going to find some fish. That's where the wind is. So they are always keeping their eye out for the disturbance. Conversely to what we usually do, which is keep our eye out for anything to go around the disturbance. So if we keep in mind that spirit is the wind, I'm not going to start singing Wind Beneath My Wings right now. Okay, I just want you to know that. Spirit is the wind. Spirit is the wind. We are the sails. We are the boat. We are the keel of the boat, which is that heavy part that sticks into the bottom, into the water. And we work with the laws of nature to move forward with that wind. And ideally, when you're going to be sailing, and I don't know if any of you have gone sailing, I used to many years ago have a 40-foot wood Atkins sailboat that had been around the world. I didn't go around the world on it, but it was amazing. You get in that wind and you get those sails just right. Usually you're at about a 45-degree angle to the wind. I have a feeling Frank knows something about sailing. Is that right? I don't know. Is he building a boat? I don't know. So when you're sailing, you are engaging the laws of nature to give you lift and forward movement, much like an airplane has to engage the laws of nature. Sometimes we are smooth sailing. Sometimes, everything's going along. We think there are no changes really happening, but they really are, but we're just not disturbed by them. So everything seems to be sailing along very smoothly, and nothing seems to be changing, and we're getting into that comfort zone, right? Just starting to stretch out and get comfortable, and then we're sailing into the storm. All of a sudden, something happens, and we feel like we're sailing into the storm. And a little voice says, it's an ill wind that blows no good. Okay, this guy, John Haywood, lived in the 1500s. And this saying has become part of the whole saying that he wrote. So it's an ill wind that blows no good. Well, we know in Science of Mind, we know there is only one wind. We know there is only one wind, and it is all good. And that is spirit, the divine. But John Haywood was really trying to say, if you read longer, and I don't have it here, but if you read his whole quote, he really says that when the wind blows, for some, it's an ill wind. It blows something off of their porch or blows whatever. And for others, it's a good wind. It's blowing, pollen, or it's blowing whatever to their field and helping them grow some new crops. So he had the idea back then that really there's only one wind, and that all wind is the wind of spirit. So what do? We can use the laws of nature, we in our sailboats as the sailboats, right? We can trim our sails, and that means you're adjusting the tension. Think about this metaphysically now, adjusting the tension in our lives, tightening it up. Maybe we need to go back to the gym. Maybe we need to take some more self-care. Maybe we need to relax. Maybe we're loosening up the sails a little. Depends on whether we're sailing upwind or downwind. That's trimming your sails. And what I also know about sailing is that you don't just head right into the wind. That doesn't work. And you can't just head right into the shore straight on if the wind is not blowing the right way. Usually it's going sideways. So what do? We tack. We go a little this way with the wind. Then we turn and we go this way. And we're moving ever closer to the shore, right? Our goal Sometimes we think it's taking forever. Why am I not there yet? But you know what? The divine wind is filling our sails, and we are moving forward. We are always moving forward, except when we're in the doldrums. How many of you feel like you, with COVID especially, right, have been or are in the doldrums? Now, what the doldrums are, for those of you who don't know it, is when the wind seems to have just stopped, like there's no wind. And some of these ancient ships would sit there and just have to sit there, waiting for the wind, right? Well, we know in science of mind that the wind is always there, and we don't need to just sit there, okay? And now I know what you're thinking, right in this moment. I know you are thinking, how many more sailing references can Reverend Karen possibly come up with? I promise I'm done. I'm mostly done. I think I'm done. How do we get moving again? When we're in the doldrums, how do we get moving again? How do we find those winds of change? How do we do anything to move forward? So we have in our spiritual practices tool belt, we have tools that we can use to help us to move forward. And our spiritual practices are kind of like having an onboard engine. So now we're a speedboat. No, seriously, if we use our spiritual practices to help us move forward, when we're feeling lost, when we're in the dark night of our soul, when we're in the doldrums and we're stuck, we can use meditation, prayer, visioning. You know, painting the center and weeding is very Zen. Like that can be a really beautiful spiritual practice. Walking in nature, visiting the ocean. I won't say going sailing, but that is too also a spiritual practice. And Stephen Hawking said this quote. I know you all think this is Star Trek. Those of you who, like me, are kind of Star Trek people. I'm just live long and prosper. To boldly go where no one has gone before. And Stephen Hawking in 2015 here was talking about visiting other planets like Mars. And he was saying we need to just boldly go with curiosity, as we talked about before. And I love this quote by former President Jimmy Carter that reminds me that spirit is like the wind in that we can see it. We can't see it, but can see its effects, which are profound. So when we deepen our practice, use our tools, deepen our practice, then we can see everything as an opportunity of growth for everybody. You know, like Reverend Doug and his family moving away. We see that as an opportunity for Reverend Doug and his family. Growth. And he's stepping into the unknown. And therefore, so are we. And it's a beautiful gift if we see it that way. So, in conclusion, I'd like to just say that seeing everything as a gift, when it is the winds of change coming our way, we can use all our tools and sailing references to make sure that what we remember is that spirit is the wind moving us forward always. Even in the dark night of our soul or the doldrums, we can stop, think about how we feel, boost our spiritual practice, call a practitioner. We can use these tools to really give that wind some extra power to flow through us and get us moving even faster. There's a beautiful quote here by Father Richard Rohr. And this leads us into the last thing that I want to share with you this morning. Richard Rohr says, I welcome all thoughts, feelings, emotions, persons, situations, and conditions. It is in these moments that we are broken open and can release the blockages in our lives. Otherwise, we hold on to them with resistance. So, Father Keating has developed this beautiful, beautiful, welcoming prayer, and I have a video of it, and I really would love to invite you now to get comfortable, take a deep breath, allow yourself to experience this, allow your heart to be broken open. Let's participate together in this welcoming prayer. That gets me every time. Thank you for spending this time with me today. I'm so grateful to be here, and I love that we can choose our new direction and embrace the winds of change, no matter what they bring, knowing that Spirit has our back, our front, our top, our bottom, and sides, every way, all the way around, all the time. Because God in each of us, as us, is us. And Centers for Spiritual Living is an amazing organization to be part of, changing the world. And High Desert Center for Spiritual Living, our vision for 2021 is timeless wisdom and evolutionary vision. And yes, I have a backronym for you today. Let's see if it passes the LeBeau test. I don't know if it will, but anyway. Okay, anyway. WINDS, willing to imagine my new direction as Spirit. Willing to imagine my new direction as Spirit. So we talk a lot about the law of circulation, the metaphysical laws of this universe, the law of attraction, the law of compensation. And what we know is that we all benefit when we give, and we benefit even more giving than we do receiving. But it's a circle. It's a circulation. And again, talking about blockages, we don't want to block that up. We want to give and we want to receive. And so we have some giving statements today that I would like us to read together about how we share the energy of money, which is just God in action. Okay, let's read this together. Divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, prosper, and bless. It is evidence of my conviction that God is the source and substance of my supply. I joyously contribute to the vision of this spiritual center, knowing that it returns to me multiplied abundantly. And just an affirmative giving statement that you can use all day long. Whatever you're doing, buying something, I bless this gift in faith, knowing that it returns to me multiplied abundantly. We have so many ways that you can give and share the energy of money here with the High Desert Center. You can use the Give Plus app, which for me is easy. I just set it on every week. Boom, boom, boom. It just goes. I don't have to do it every time. And also, you can visit our website. So you can scroll all the way down to the bottom on our website and donate today. There's our little location with a little map guide there, and certainly our mailing address. If you want to send via snail mail, or if you want to visit the office during the office hours with your mask on, at 18575 Corwin Road in Apple Valley, California, 92307. And there's our website, high-desert, Yeah, when I first heard about this center, it took me a minute because I was HIGH. So I learned from my experience. It's HI-desert, CSL.org. All right, so now we get to sing together. And I wish I could hear every one of your beautiful voices, but I will know that you are singing with me wherever you are. And we're going to sing this beautiful song, which saved my life one time on a tiny little plane when Reverend Doug sang it to me. And we're going to sing it all together right now. All is well. All is well, and I am grateful. All is well, and now it's time to let it go. All is well, and I am grateful. Life is good, and so it is. I know that the winds of change bring only good. I know that Spirit blesses, protects, and keeps you on every journey. I know that Spirit fills your sails with love, and it flows through you with grace and welcoming. I know that your Spirit shines its light upon you and is your peace. And so it is. Amen. Let's sing one more time. All is well, and I am grateful. All is well, and now it's time to let it go. All is well, and I am grateful. Life is good, and so it is. Life is good, and so it is. Life is good, and so it is. Blessings and namaste to all of you until we see each other again. Here's Daniel Nahmad to sing us out.